okay? So the whole idea is it's about how we lead, all right? And we decided to put this training together to help our CPMs, the PAs and the PPs, okay? So I'm going to just run through the agenda real quick so we can get started. Okay, so like I said, face-to-face CPM training. This is the only hub. This is the first time we're doing it this year, and it's only being scheduled here. Laz wants feedback on how this training went so that if it's a good thing and everybody's happy with it, then he would probably have them do it in other hubs.
So these are the offerings. This is how they fit in the Ericsson strategy. Can you click one further? This is our core business. Radio core and transmission. We are present and quite big, and we need to excel in it. Telecom services, the whole professional services, managed services portfolio. That is the green component. Then you have the mobile financial services and solutions, which is new business area around mobile money, mobile wallet. And of course the OSS BSS domain. Because if you talk mobile money, mobile wallet, you're close towards the whole business support systems, the charging system, the INs of this world. And then we have TV and media. These are the 5 main areas that we are addressing within Africa. And which could be, of course, a little bit different from what other regions are doing.
So what our objective, 2015 and beyond, I want us to move the share of MTN spend from that 28%, which it is today, to 45%. That's a very huge challenge I've given myself, or rather, I've given the team. And I think it's doable. We need to start moving away from the traditional, oh, I'm going to fix one base station here, hang one antenna there. There are new areas of business. Wonderful people sitting here with sharp brains that you can start moving into newer functions, even as a CPM, and be adding value. And I think we'll be able to turn around the business. Next slide. The yellow band that was installed many years ago, do we really need that yellow band? It's old and, probably we have the fiber rings now, but maybe we need to modernize it. So that discussion has come up. Suddenly there's an opportunity, which nobody wanted to talk about. We need to think of this business differently. Each and every one of us has to become an ambassador of pushing value and making value-based decisions every day on our desk.
It's not Maria's assessment, it is not Terry's assessment, it's not Terry's KPI. It's about staying afloat, staying updated, staying on top. So what we saw there is that, and I think Femi touched on this as well. The process is stuck somewhere, but instead of asking somebody to help, instead of being proactive, instead of sharing ideas, we're all stuck in this place. And sometimes we're stuck in a place that says, well, this global chronos is not working. You see, Patricia and her governance, my goodness. So it's Kamal and her team, it's PMO and their team, and Terry and her KPIs. It's everyone's fault, but not myself. So out there, everyone is doing things to me, but not me. So I guess the challenge what I saw there, which I could relate to where Ericsson is concerned, is not a CPM, but as an Ericsson employee, is that sometimes we get entangled in our own processes that we forget to be proactive, we forget to think outside of what we know.
We know that project management is a lot about stakeholder management. So you have both the external stakeholders in the customer, and you have internal stakeholders in Ericsson. And in Ericsson, sometimes there can be a lot of stakeholders, depending on the kind of project that you're running. There can be a lot of internal stakeholders, sometimes even more than the external stakeholders sometimes. So you need to be able to understand what they're saying, first of all. So that's the communication part, and you need to be able to listen to what they're saying, to understand, what is the context of the project that you're delivering. And that's why I start talking about context. What is the value both to the customer and to Ericsson? all right? Now, the value, for example, to Ericsson might not just be monetary. What I mean by that is not just about net sales and margin. It might be that the project is strategic, okay? So it means that it means that maybe it's a new area, and we need to start showing that we can deliver in that new area, so that we have a body of evidence to take to other customers, so that we can sell. So that's why understanding the context is very important. So, for example, if you start delivering a project and you think it's only about the net sales, and you don't understand that it's strategic, there might be actions and decisions that you take that do not consider the strategic nature of the project you're delivering, and you're only thinking about net sales. Whereas net sales is good and is always good, but that might not be the priority of that particular project. For example, we talk about new and targeted areas, TV and media. So supposing you're the person delivering the first TV and media project that we have in RSSA. That is very, very strategic. And you might find out that from an internal perspective, that's the Ericsson stakeholders, it is more important that that project is delivered properly, not really focusing on the sales or the net sales and the margin, but rather showing that we have the capability to deliver in the TV and media space.
In the case of Airtel, for example, we still Ericsson, we had this issue of the LTE projects, you understand? Well, I don't know if they are competitors anyway, have delivered a trial to Airtel, and they've rolled out like 200 of those sites on this new technology. And they did it free of charge, you know, and their equipment are sitting there right now waiting for the license to roll out. And Ericsson proposed this like 2 years ago as well, and proposed to give the customer half of it free, and the other half they must pay, like the HSS part. And the customer is saying, but these other people gave it to us free. You're trying to sell something to us. Why don't you just do it? You know, but there's some ways we could have done it, giving it to them free, but put that cost into something else where they wouldn't see it. You understand? That's a no. That's a sales strategy which we're not applying.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about, the way we structure our deal.
Yes, and now we've lost the deal because the customer came up and said, we're tired of you, story today, story tomorrow, we don't even want to try anymore. You know, and everything is there bluffing that, look, we've done this thing in other countries before, it works, you know. And the customer said, fine, you did it in another country, but this is Nigeria. This is where I want you to do it. You know, so we have such issues. Yes, we have good service delivery, but our approach to delivering the service is the problem we have in terms of sales strategy.
You hear PFMs telling you, I'm sorry, you can't see your numbers because there's no settlements yet. What happens is, I spoke to you about ZPS 009, ZPS 003. These are keys that help SAP determine how we're going to recognize cost of sales, net sales, and everything else. The settlement then helps the system to say what should be going to net sales, what should be going to the balance sheet, how does it settle in the right places. P codes, we have a very complicated structure. Business units, so you need this settlement to run on each one of your projects for that to happen. There's one place where this happens, it's in India, and it happens every Sunday and Tuesday, and they do it for all 10 regions.
So when we talk about make design or buy analysis, sourcing give the input to business case when it's being developed. And stakeholder involves sourcing as soon as the need for external product, like I said, the moment you determine that what we are going to do is buy. But we have instances where sourcing only gets to know when we are almost passing SDP 2. How do we want to make it? How do we want to get there? Because if we know 55% of the cost of sales will be 3PP, and you know we are going to see the sourcing directives for RSSA shortly. And if that is the case, so how do we want to get there if sourcing is not involved from the onset? Or sourcing does not understand what we are buying? Allow flexible terms to renegotiate volume. And the thing is that when we allow such terms in the contract, and suddenly the customer comes that says we are rolling out 3G in this area, or 300, and suddenly it became 500, sourcing is not informed. Anyway, sourcing has given us the price. Sourcing has given us the supply. We just continue. No, you know that you are not empowered to discuss price. It is sourcing. So when volume comes, you fall back on your sourcing to, now that I have more volume, these vendors should be able to give me more discount. But if that information is not given to sourcing, you are just rolling out. Because all we are concerned about, we want to meet timeline. And when we finish the project, we now do toll gate what? And we find out that it didn't add up. No profit. Nothing.
And if I look back at my career, you know, what I'm trying to do now is to make Smile actually a bit more of a web company than a telco. And that's where you also come in to play a role. I'll tell about that a bit more. It should be much more flexible, much more data-driven, much more experimenting and much more short-cycled type of management. On the data-driven thing, let me make one rude and critical remark. This company of mine is sitting on piles of data, and it is using hardly any of it. And you're part of the problem because we don't have managed services yet, which I think is stupid from us. I think the telecoms industry is still very much focused on infrastructure. And again, the infrastructure is great, it should be there, but it's not the end product. And that's also one of my comments towards you and towards my own people. I don't mean it to be critical, but one of you just mentioned sites, how many sites I think you've built for us. Let me make a rude statement, and I've already shocked my own people with that too. I really don't care about the number of sites. I really, I don't give a fuck. I'm serious. The only thing I want to hear is what sort of quality the customer perceives and whether that customer is happy with it, whether that relates to the price that the customer paid and how it relates to what our competitors offer.
What's new? At the end of 2014, all the PMO heads for the 10 regions had a meeting, and every PMO person presented what they were doing for governance. And everybody liked what RSSA was doing. So, well done to you guys. And so they adopted part of what we were doing and just changed the little things. So if you think it's hard for you, there's the guys who are not being tracked at all. So everything is new for them. Okay? A project must pass all 5 measurements. You know the 5 measurements. So if you pass 4 and you fail 1, you fail governance. Sorry? Yes, it's 0 100. There's no in between. Last year was nice. I'm like, okay, you're at 8 to this %, so maybe you're okay. This year, all the PMO heads for all 10 regions said, you either pass or you fail. It's black or white. Okay, so how does the ranking? Now we'll be compared on how we're performing in governance with the other 9 regions. How does the ranking happen? How do we get our percentage? Do we know how we scored last month? Does anybody remember my email?
Basically, if you loaded an amount at TG2 and then you got an additional PO, so you do your TG3, you did all that, but
then it will be fine.
You need a change request.
You can do a change request or do TG3. If you got a new PO, do a TG3.
Okay, so right now for the projects that have reached TG5, the planned cost, the planned margin was say 18%. But the additional PO and the additional cost you added, you still have a margin of 24%, which is supposed to be an improvement. But it's red because Kronos is comparing planned budget versus final cost. Not comparing final budget with final cost. Because it's assuming the budget didn't change.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Can it be robust enough to capture that difference? We're supposed to be. But we should compare current budget with current cost in maybe another KPI, maybe another segment or something. Let something compare that. And then, because we're looking at cost overrun in this number 3. But what is happening is that projects that are not no cost overrun are still showing red because it's comparing the original budget, the 2 budgets, with the final cost as opposed to the current budget with the final cost. Because it's assuming the current budget did not change.
It's comparing current. Initially in TG2, you put in your initial baseline. But if you did a change request, it's looking at that new figure. If you did a TG3, it's looking at that new figure.
You didn't do a change request.
If you didn't do a change, but why didn't you do a change request if your budget changed?
So we got the project administrators, which we now know who they are. We have this new role called configuration managers, okay? And I put the job stage 4, 5, and 6. But look at this. Includes the project administrator functions as well as assisting the CPMs in managing the customer realization with regards to change control and ensures a valid change process is implemented and followed. Configuration management is to be applied to control solutions during support and lifecycle management. Okay. So this is something that Global now introduced, okay? Yes, sure.
By the way, this is part of NRO at Ericsson. Earlier on, I spoke about NRO at Ericsson. So 2015, there's a lot of changes that you're going to see, including roles and responsibilities. I also spoke earlier on about a project core team.
Now we have 3 main roles in supply liaison directly with the project, the CPM, the CAM, or the core 3. The first is the account supply responsible, that's the ASR. The second is the contract execution manager, the SEM. And the third is order and distribution manager. They were previously called the PDMs. I'm sure you know them, right? You know your SEM? You know your ASRs? No? Okay. So, the main interface for the ASR is the CAM and the core 3.
Mandate for order management team is cut everything to 5 days. Everything to 5 days. That's why the TSS was now moved from commercial management, now under Kamal in PMO. Mandate is clear, 5 days. 15 rows TSS, now there's only 2 handovers. You would appreciate that this is only effective Jan 2015, which means we're still infancy, we're still at the infancy level. 2 months in operation, but there's been a huge improvement so far, particularly in Nigeria. I'm going to be sharing that in a moment. So, 15 rows, 2 handovers, 35 days, 19 days, 5 days is an achievement. Now, you may argue, but where are we now? Because January is a month, first month, but it is there. Something to note that Kamal was saying we need to all be aware of. So though there were once paper-based manual process, and now we're trying automation of the process, and we're trying hybrid roles, and we're trying to combine everything and try to focus per account, there is still competence gaps where the roles are concerned.
(2015) drive. If you notice, this is what the Global Kronos GMO has: the value growth, the change request billability ratio, and the billing plan fulfillment. All this here are all in your KPIs. You have the project governance maturity, TG2 fulfillment. You have the status report where you have to put in your steering group meeting date, which is a new feature. You have the project budget management, where your cost should not exceed your budget. You have your Prop C compliance, where they check your mails. I need to stress that for Prop C, you are going to have from Q2, you're going to have your documents checked. Now, it's not just checking the link and checking if it's approved. They're going to check the quality of your documents. Look out for certain things. That's a further Prop C audit.
Okay, we were talking to a 3PP vendor, right? And for some reason, nobody remembered to call sourcing. Do you know why? Oh, this third-party vendor has global partnership. So everybody's like, what do we need sourcing for? It was an omission. And we're talking to the 3B, we're talking, negotiating, finalizing price, everything. The third-party vendor was supposed to send somebody to site, right? And we've negotiated the price. Everything done. Because we assume, they partner, right? Do you know what they said? The guy was supposed to fly. I think some approvals, maybe they have these approval, Concord approval, whatever. And he got to one manager in the company and was like, where are you going to? I'm going to do work for Ericsson. Where? How? When did it start? Who negotiated? We found out that the person we've been talking to does not even have any authority to discuss with Ericsson. And we went back to meet sourcing. Sourcing, please help us. What happened? They said, who have you been talking to? You should have been talking to their head of operations. He said, sorry, we didn't know. We wasted 3 months talking to the wrong person in an organization. If only sourcing was involved in your risk, it would have told you.
It allowed us to know what our internal and external stakeholders and customers wanted from us. We had a from the MTN account come to tell us what they expected from us. We had Mary J, the hub director, come and tell us what the targets for the year is, what the focus for the year is, what are the key deliverables for the year. And we had a customer, the MD of Smile, come and tell us what exactly they wanted from us as customers. No, not only did we know the expectations, we were then equipped to follow through. You know, we learned about risk. We learned about our financials. We learned about chronos and governance. We learned about SAT handler. So we're equipped to be able to deliver what these customers wanted from us. So yes, I would say it was very important, and I hope we have a lot more of it.
Hello, my name is Abayomi Odumosu. I'm a CPM for Ericsson. The most important areas that have been affected by this training has been the area where the Lead Plus, the Customer Plus, and the various programs that have been set to take Ericsson forward. The Profitability Plus, Growth Plus, and the other programs that we have in there. So those areas would make me deliver more value to my customer more than ever before.
It's a forum that we expose ourselves to various tools we use in our project deliveries, and our expectation is being discussed, the management expectation and the expectation of the participants. And it is a very important forum where we can identify gaps, where we will learn how to be proactive and how we react to our customers' needs, how we leverage on our role alignment and all that. It is a very important one because Ericsson, being a global company, have to continue learning, how to continue in the knowledge sharing, and with that, we could be able to gather the knowledge needed in the execution of our various functions in the organization. Yes, it is worthwhile recommending.